Loki Season 2 is created by Michael Waldron and is directed by Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead, Dan DeLue, and I apologize if I'm butchering this, but Kasra Furani.
Come on, you're the god of mischief. Always have been, always will be.
So basically, for those of you who don't know, the premise of Loki Season 2 basically picks up right where Loki Season 1 left off, right after Sylvie kills the one who remains, or he who remains rather, and Loki comes back to the TVA and nobody knows who he is. This is a plot line that is, spoiler I guess, quickly kind of removed from canon because it doesn't take long for this issue to get resolved at all, and I was very happy to see that it was done in a way that was very creative. So talking about the season overall, basically it is very, very good. I was actually very surprised at how great it actually was. It's shot wonderfully. I thoroughly enjoyed all the performances across the board. Tom Hiddleston really kills it as Loki, along with Owen Wilson as Mobius. Once again, they do a great job together. The story of the season is basically following this thing called the Loom, and Ki-hee Kwan is really the only one that knows a lot about it, and he is so good in this season. I was glad to see they gave him a real character. It wasn't just a gimmick to put him in something that had to do with the multiverse, considering he just won an Oscar for a movie that had to do with the multiverse, that being Everything Everywhere All at Once, a film that I actually quite loved. This show is nothing like that, and Ki-hee Kwan is his own character in this. He is so fantastic, and Loki's like slipping in and out of different timelines, which is really interesting as well, and that plays a major part into the show. And as I said, I really like this season. I think overall just the performances really made it, but also just the style choices and the fact that all the directors just felt like they were working on one cohesive plan. Each episode of Loki Season 1 felt like its own separate thing to a degree, like most Disney Plus shows. I can honestly say this is one of the best Disney Plus shows out there. It's second to Andor for me, and it's also the best Marvel TV show out there as far as Disney Plus goes. The storyline was just super solid. I was really blown away by the finale personally. I think it was just astounding. It was like they looked at Stranger Things Season 4 and said, okay, for our finale, we got to go big. And it really went down a very cinematic route, and I really enjoyed that about this show. It just felt very cinematic throughout. There was obviously an effort to take this season a little bit more seriously than the first, and I liked the first season, by the way. This one, I loved. The writing in this season is just so phenomenal and fantastic, and I was so happy to see this very punchy dialogue in this show, and the first season was kind of lacking on that sometimes, and this one definitely had it, along with very quippy, clever humor a lot of the time. Ki-hee Kwan's character is hysterical in this. He is such a revelation. The chemistry between Loki and Morbius continues to be great. I just enjoyed it through and through. There are side characters from the first season that got a bigger role in this season. Jonathan Majors, I know there's controversy going on right now, but he does kill it as Kang. The range on this guy is unbelievable, the things he can do. And you look at him playing 3 different iterations of Kang between Loki Season 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and now Loki Season 2. It's pretty amazing. He plays a variant called Victor Timely, who's a much more intelligent variant, and when you see the things that this guy can do, it's just ever more clear that this needs to be your big bad in the multiverse saga. Like, this guy is definitely very terrifying, threatening. He can do a lot, especially with the stuff with Kang at the end, which I won't go into here. I mean, it is just very evident to me that this is the right villain to have in this saga, the MCU, even though I was kind of debating it just because of the way that the multiverse saga was going. I can see why it's good to have a multiverse saga, and that's something I want to credit this season for, because I was really starting to lose my faith in this saga because it was all seeming to fall apart. And while I'm not like 100% convinced it's going to be okay now, because like I'm still slightly skeptical because of all the mediocre projects we've had in this saga, the MCU, like I am pretty much at this point, thanks to Loki Season 2, like I see where they're kind of going, and that is a very big testament to the show. It did a very good job letting me know that there is somewhat of a direction, and I was very happy to see that. It's felt very directionless over the past quite a few projects that we've had in the multiverse saga, and I'm hoping that it's not a letdown and it all does kind of pay off by the end of of the saga. If I really had any issues with this season overall, it is that sometimes the pacing can drag. It's very, very rare though that it does that. For the most part, you're in it, you're ready to go. There's just a couple times, just like the first season, where it will kind of veer off the main storyline just enough for you to be like, okay, get back to it. But then it usually quickly does. The first season would veer off the main story path and kind of stay there for quite a few minutes, and this time it would be like seconds. I would say sometimes it does play a little too much into the quirkiness, but not as much as the first season. Again, like everything that it does wrong, like it does wrong better than the first season did it wrong, if that makes sense. It really does reel it back into being a great show, and man, this season was just phenomenal. Like I would say the story is so much more compelling than the first season. Just from the jump, I was in so much more. I think the first episode is the weakest of all of them, and even that one's pretty great. I mean, I was in it, got me hooked. I was like, oh yes, we're going, and I just thoroughly enjoyed them all 6 episodes are great. They're all streaming on Disney Plus. Guys, I'm gonna give Loki season 2 a must watch, but please, if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought of the season, and if you're gonna watch it because of this review, let me know that as well. That's very cool. Or if you're not gonna watch it because of this review, let me know why that is as well. Guys, it's great to be back after a very long strike. I was holding out for this thing to be over, and I'm back, and I'm so happy to be back, and I'm hoping to stay back, and let's kind of get some more things going. I guess at this point I do have reviews coming up within the week, probably for Ahsoka and Secret Invasion, which are projects that I missed reviewing during the strike, but they're kind of these big tentpole franchise projects, so I do want to get those out. All right guys, once again, I've been Don Martino. Please do us a favor, hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you guys for joining, and I will talk to you guys later.